Welcome, wild ones, and those intrigued by forest magic and tree medicine. Today, I wanted to take you with me as we journey into aspects of forest magic, and I wanted to share bits of secrets I have found along the way with you when it comes to understanding the ancient forest herself. If we haven't met before, my name is Heather Lynn, and I am the Wild Woodland Witch. Wild because I love the natural world, and most of my spellwork is a bit messy and untamed, to say the least. I practice very spontaneous magic, and as a green witch, I dabble in kitchen witchery, herbal medicine crafting, and intuitive magic. So today's video I am so excited for because it's actually a collaboration with Bex from the Witch's Cookery. More on this later in the video. And without further ado, here are some things we're going to get into in this video today. I wanted to start with an old growth forest. Just a patch of land full of old trees, yet don't be fooled by their restful, gentle bends, for these giants are far more emotional and intelligent than one can imagine. Linked by a fungal network, trees can communicate, exchange sugar, and care for each other. They can warn each other of danger by excreting hormones, and like one single bee is part of a hive, a tree is part of something greater too, a connected network of close friends. Old growth trees balance global climate. There are similarities between the way trees and humans age, and trees can learn. They can compare the amount of daylight from one day to the next to determine when to drop their leaves. Trees form friendships because this helps them live longer. Trees pass water vapor from the ocean, from forest to forest. A forest is a living, breathing entity connected, and that is why magic lives in every vine, deep down in every root, and even in the air too. Ever since I was a little girl, I felt the woods calling me. And if you're like me, wild ones, you've probably heard this calling too. The power of the forest is like no other. Just like the many rings in a tree trunk, there is ancient wisdom here. I have left some wonderful book resources below for you, wild ones, so check that out in the description. I could keep going on and on and on, and I'm sure future videos will talk more about the forest wisdom I uncover, so do subscribe and click the notification bell should you wish to explore this with me further. Forest bathing is one way besides reading that one can take in this ancient wisdom. Like I mentioned before, the forest is abuzz with communication, and hormones exist in the air as we walk through her. The air feels different somehow, and after we spend just 20 minutes in the forest bathing in this energy, we are changed. We can find a sense of balance, and this can lead to a sense of purpose. This little shift in our human energy from the forest is available to us, always. Plants in general have this ability to alter our moods. Just sitting with a plant, walking around a terraced garden, or bringing plants into our homes can actually have a similar effect. Today I wanted to choose just one of her many trees to highlight as an example of forest magic. Tree magic is amazing. Each tree has a gift and medicine to bring, so I have chosen Willow to present to you today. The willow tree is associated with water and the moon. She is known for healing sorrow and has mothering crown energy. Shamans around the world have sat below her to gain wisdom. She possesses wisdom of instinct and emotion. She is one of the few trees which can regenerate from a single branch or twig laid in the soil, as she has a very strong life force. She is used in basket making and is a favorite among harp makers. many use her rod for divination. Her bark is used medicinally to lower a fever, stop bleeding quickly, and aids in dream magic. I have experienced the dream magic firsthand, and it is amazing. She also possesses a chemical which can take away pain. Her bark contains salicin, a compound similar to aspirin. Salicin is metabolized in the body to create salicylic acid. Sorry, wild ones. A precursor to aspirin. And as you have been seeing here, I am making her bark into a medicine tincture. I have used brandy and made a separate tincture with vodka, and the willow bark I have harvested myself. The key is to fill the bottle all the way with alcohol of your choosing. It will sit for 2 to 4 weeks, and I will add a little bit of water on the top as I go to prevent oxygen from getting into the medicine. I want to make sure I mention that as a green witch and a budding herbalist, I am not a certified herbalist or a doctor. So if you're like me, wild ones, learning as you go, go slow. Willow tincture is very strong. I have noticed that she can cause drowsiness, but as a result, she has the ability to be anti-anxiety with the right dosage. But she is not something one can take daily. She is made to use only up to 12 weeks with breaks in between, and you can take too much of her. So consult your doctor or herbalist if you want to work with her throughout a year. I can see how using her during one's menstrual cycle for a few days would be very beneficial. She also did get me dreaming, so I would agree with the books on her ability to bring on dreams. With any herb, start with one herb at a time and really get to know her slowly. Learning about plant magic is a life journey, and dabbling means that we go slow. It's very easy to get overwhelmed when first starting to make tinctures or salves. My advice would be kind to yourself. Go one step at a time, and always remember you can do this. Anyone can be an herbalist. I wanted to go back to the forest I shared at the beginning of the video and share a little bit about childhood memory magic. Each one of us has the ability to tap in to the very way we feel about a particular time period or how a person makes us feel from the past. We can even use objects or places in our magic to bring these feelings out so they can be used in manifestation work, spell work, or aid in dreaming.
This is so cool. Oh, it's so magical. Looks like it's since died, though.
This forest is part of my manifestation this year. Just a little piece of land I played in from my childhood.
So I think I found the perfect thing. This is a piece to the old swing set that we used to have here. This is actually my neighbor's house that we used to play in. So I'm thinking I love this like opening, the way this W is formed, and I know there's a ruin for this, like a rune stone, not a ruin, but a rune stone for this. And I feel like it means opening. So I want to look at that and yeah, see if I can craft this into a fine wand.
And so I practice memory magic often. So I wanted to share this idea with you, wild ones. I think this forest is where I first realized I was a witch. And it's where I went when I needed to be supported throughout my early life. This year, I have played with forest magic and kitchen witchery more than I have in the past. And I wanted to show you some examples of how the forest can enter into one's magic. I crafted this lovely nettle cake of my dreams. And if you want to learn more about how I made it, I will link that above for you. And I also had this amazing experience crafting this bodice from moss that I returned to the forest as part of a living spell. And if you want to experience that one with me, wild ones, I have also left a link above. And now let's get into another form of forest magic, perfect for any season, fairy houses. This fairy house lives indoors and utilizes bark magic and other forms of forest magic, whether you believe in fairies or not, or if you just like to play with the idea of a spirit that guards over the plant realm, which is actually what I tend to believe, or you just think it's sweet and you can use it as a doorway to share your intentions and manifest with. Like the opening I shared with you before, this bark creates an opening as well, and it can be used to communicate to different worlds. Ones you believe in, ones you imagine, or if you're practicing hedge magic, to those who have crossed over. It's all very much in your control to decide how you would use this house in Spellwork. I will be making a video on Fairy House Spellwork soon, so stay tuned. But let's quickly talk about the Sigil magic I have been using with this wand I made from my childhood forest and this Fae house. In the wand, I see the symbol Aliz, or protection, from the Runestone Oracle deck. In the fairy house, I see the symbol Kano, or opening. Sigils or symbols are typically drawn in spells, but I see them all the time in the forest, when forest gazing, and I think when we are hunting or gleaning for items in the forest, be on the lookout for sigils that are already present in the forest. This can aid in your magic. It certainly has in mine. So now, wild ones, I get to share with you a little bit about Bex from the Witch's Cookery. Bex makes the most inspiring videos, but what I love about her channel is her little bits of history about witchcraft, her recipe shares that make kitchen witchery accessible to all, and I just adore Bex's energy. She's compassionate and loving, genuine and accepting. In fact, Bex has been inspirational to me as I have gone through a year of self-growth within my own connections to magic. And if it wasn't for Bex here, I don't know if I would have learned as much or connected to myself as deeply to be here now and share my wisdom with you. If you're seeking a similar jolt of inspiration, head over, subscribe, click the notification bell, and check out her work. I promise you will not be disappointed. And now, this is where I leave you, wild ones. Have an amazing week full of adventurous magic, and tell me all about it in the comments if you'd like to share, or join me over on Instagram. I post way too much, and it's super fun, but I love just connecting with our witch community, and I'd love for you to join. Blessings to your magical lives, and as always, my dears, come and find me again.